Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and welcome back to another episode of our beautiful autumn time painting together. Now, last week you guys chose to do a nice little small waterfall in the foreground, which we'll do today. Now, next week though, we probably won't have any voting because we're going to do a detailed and highlighting episode. It looks like it's about that time. All right, let's get started. We'll start off today here with a filbert brush and a little bit of brown and black. And I think we really need to just narrow this area in a little bit, and of course everything's dry. Now the reason I say we should make it more narrow is, well, because you guys voted last week to do a waterfall, I feel like this is just way too big to warrant a waterfall here, unless it's man-made, what do you call those? They're like, we don't have them around here so much, but on the East Coast, a lot of those little, in their ponds and their rivers, and they have those little drop-off. They're like tiny dams, I guess. In fact, I'm sure that's what they are. But anyways, there. So we'll make this quite a bit more narrow, but I still want to leave a little bit of that reflection. I don't want to destroy it all, because that reflection's pretty sweet, but it's not the feature of the painting so much. Maybe that needs to protrude out just a bit here, yeah. And we got to figure this out back here, but I can sort all these things out. I'm just kind of getting you, kind of showing you where we're going with this. This land area does need just a little bit of refining as far as the shape is concerned. There, maybe we can even have it kind of drop off a bit. Now right here toward the bottom of the canvas, I would like to just toss in our little waterfall. Now, what this is kind of what I'm hoping, at least, is that we get a subtle effect that's not going to distract too much, but also it's sort of, it takes over as one of the more interesting bits of the painting. So, a couple ways you can kind of manage to do that. One, don't make it too big. That's the obvious one. And the not so obvious one is keep it subtle in color and just light the top up. That should be good. This is a little bit more even. It's not super crazy. I will throw a couple rocks in there because we don't want it just dead. There. And it probably just goes off the page, off the canvas. Yikes. There. All right, that's cool. And it's just, it's kind of off center. It's not just dead in the center. And even more over to the left is good because the painting has a little more weight on the right side. Okay, so there you go. You want to kind of float, because this is all dry in through here, you can kind of take this, it's actually super easy here, just float these little lines over to disturb the reflection. Wow, actually this is easy. We're not going to have to mess with the reflection as much as I thought we would, because we're going to cover it because the water's moving. Nice. Good stuff. There, I still see the reflection, it's still there, but it's cool. Now I think we do need another step down. Right in through here. And see the water kind of, this way it drops in elevation a little. Kind of figure out how big you want that, probably about that big. Do the same idea, just slice along the top, slice along the bottom. There you have it. Detail it out with the detail brush. We'll have to, finish all this up next week when we do our really fun detail and highlight episode. We always do one of those. Almost every time we do one of these paintings together, we have to have at least one episode where I just sit down with you and we kind of nail out the details and get all that sorted out. So that's what we're going to do next week. So no voting at the end of this episode. There. Now I'm taking just a couple seconds here to drop in at least a medium-sized tree on the left, just because it helps balance out the painting. The painting is still leaning over to the right too much. We need a tree on this side. And it's very, very natural that because we have a forest over here, we gotta have a forest over here. That makes sense, so we're gonna do it. It's just one of those little things that you just have to do when you paint. You have to look around and make sure that it feels right and it feels like it's legitimate and real, like it would in a real life scene, which this is not. We're making this one up together, remember? So you gotta make sure it feels natural. All right, so I'm gonna do something just a little thicker because I don't wanna go overboard. I kinda like the openness And so I don't want to fill it in like that, right? Because this is kind of, this is our idea. Don't want to drift away from what you guys said going. So this will just help make it look more natural without disrupting the flow of the painting or anything else. We're going to do beautiful open leaves on these trees, you know, so you can still see the sky and everything through. And I'm going to bring this one way down as well. Good stuff. There you go. All right, let's take our fan brush and some yellow, red. You can see I have a clean palette today. There you go. I'm going to kind of work all those into my brush, mostly to the golden colors. A lot of this grass is brown and dried. There. And this is going to be kind of goofy because it's dry. It's really weird feeling doing this on a dry canvas. And I'm not too sure how well it'll work. I may need to wet the canvas down with just a little more brown and black. I did scrub just a little in here to start us off when I was doing the rocks. So I had to feather them in, but it wasn't enough really to get the canvas wet. Not too wet. There. It really helps to kind of blend these grasses together, I'm finding. See, because this is mostly dry, a little bit wet underneath here, because of this color I scrubbed in when I was doing the outline here. It just, when you kind of blend it like this, it just blurs it out. It doesn't really change the color, just makes it blurry, and it kind of works. I kind of like this. So it's a little different from what we normally do, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta be different. Now this side is on a bit of a shadow. You know, obviously the sun isn't at the horizon, so the sun's in the sky and it can shine downward and hit all this stuff as well. But maybe just for the sake of doing something for fun, we won't make it quite as bright. Maybe we'll end up making it just as bright, but for now that'll be the general thought that we go with. Now I'm gonna just drop in a little extra highlight on these stones, and here's something that's kind of fun for you. I'm going to totally ignore all those lines that I put in, because they were just there to kind of start us on our little bridge. They're not there to control every little bit. And I'm going to do what I want up here. And if the lines aren't where I think they need to be, I'm going to just change them, because it's not important. If you let your sketches and your initial painting kind of control the outcome of everything that you do on top, you're kind of tying one hand behind your back. It's not going to be as good. Instead, give yourself as much creative freedom as you can, and I think you'll have a little more fun. It took us forever to get to the bridge, didn't it? There, maybe on these, maybe you just want to place a little light on the top and actually use the underpainting. Yeah, we can do that. Especially right here. You know, these are fairly flat, so, and the light's kind of coming forward, but up from the left going to the right, so, you know, you kind of think about all that as you paint. Okay, we can also add the darks back in. I think we will, of course, want to add some darks back in. We'll just, next time we do it, we'll carefully do it around each stone. There. All right, well, that's all the work we're going to do in our painting today. Now, there's actually no voting today because, of course, next week we're going to do our beautiful highlight and detail episode. So I hope you're really looking forward to that. Thanks for watching.